You now tune in to 13signsastrology.com. Briefly, just want to address the next couple of episodes coming up in the direction that we're going to kind of go into. And I want to take this into the origin of metaphysics, the origin of the occult, because many people out there have it all twisted and messed up because of Hollywood and the music industry, namely, and they want to try to say that the music industry and Hollywood are responsible for architecting or birthing the occult, because of the fact that a lot of what we teach in the occult can be referenced in music videos. And that's what I'm going to address here on this episode quickly, and then we're going to move into the order of Melchizedek after that. But I want to go ahead and say this. You got to remember that music videos and music itself has to have something called production. So you need production. And this is very key, because you have a lot of metaphysical researchers out there that use the landscape of music to paint a picture of the occult. For instance, they may talk about the Beatles being a part of the Illuminati, or they may talk about Rihanna or Sean Combs or someone like that worshiping the devil. And this is not me trying to say whether they do or they don't worship the devil. That's not my point. My point is that a lot of metaphysical teachers use music as a foundation to validate the research of the occult. And what's happening now is that you have the music industry trying to claim reference or claim ownership over the information of the occult. And I'll say this and close down, and we'll come back up and try to continue on where we left off at. I say try because sometimes life sends us into another direction, and I have to mix information in to help you to understand where I'm at that time. So if I leave a subject and don't come back to it for a period of time, it's because of the energy or the doorway for that information is either open or closed. So you have in music what's called a production or a producer. This is very key, and I'm gonna make this point. See, that production comes from something called a tree. And you know what a tree is, but I'm talking about on a metaphysical level. Some of you know it as the Kabbalah. And this goes back much further than music. And when you begin to study the Kabbalah, you can begin to visa the future. See, this is where these producers are getting it from. See, they study the Kabbalah and they get into something called Ifa. And they begin to learn how to use their third eye to visa the future. So the reason why it looks like the music industry dominates the occult is because of the fact that they spend most of they spend more money now than your occultists in vising the future. When I say visa, this means to literally pay off the future. And they pay off the future through researching and witnessing the occult through something called a pole. And I'll stop there. See, every producer has to study a pole or a tree. Same thing. And this is what I'm going to go into. And this pole and this tree comes from the ancient order of Melchizedek or Melchizedek or Zadok. And it goes back before Malachi and it goes back before Drumvalo Melchizedek. I want to point that out. Nothing against none of those brothers. But I want to take you into the very origins of this stuff so that people won't think that I'm making this stuff up and this stuff is some type of a fallacy. So I'll go ahead and shut down for now. On the next episode, we're going to cover the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek and how this ties into the music industry and what this means for our future. If we are to have one, we have to master this phase that I'm about to speak on. So as always, keep studying, stay vigilant. Hotep, Wadu, Namaste.